I am Yvette. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of the Renegade.
Sound fancy. I'm Jasmine. I'm the managing editor.
I'm Kennedy. I'm a staff member.
I'm Erica. I'm on staff. I'm Elaine. I'm the multimedia director.
I'm Natasha. I'm social media director.
I'm Ashley. I'm features editor.
I'm Janelle. I'm copy editor.
And I can just start by saying that I wanted to start the Renegade because I'm a magazine student and I worked for a couple of campus publications last semester. And I really wanted to write a story about natural hair. And I thought it was interesting that there's a really big community online that follows the natural hair community, and it really educates women about how to take care of their natural hair. So I thought it would be really cool to just write a story about that. And I pitched it to a magazine, and they said that it was too controversial. At that moment, I realized that there should be a publication on here and on campus where you could publish a story about natural hair and it not be like a thing. Like we could just talk about an issue that is pertinent to the black community exclusively, and it be something that is acceptable. So that's why I wanted to start this magazine. I really thought that there's a lack of a medium for black students to really tell their stories and talk about topics that are pertinent to them.
I can just say that I'm like one of 4 black people in my program, and that in itself gets a little bit weird. Like today, in one of my classes, and this is like, it's trivial, but at the same time, it's one of those things where like, so we were like editing a paragraph in class. It got into like the Taylor Swift incident and the comment that he made about George Bush, and at the end of the paragraph, the last 2 words were Kanye shrug. And as we were editing the paragraph, everyone was kind of looking at me like, okay, in-house black person, like what does this, like what does this phrase mean? That's how it feels most of the time. So I can only imagine what it must be like for you guys on campus. I mean, I don't know like percentages in terms of like race or culture, but from what I've seen, like Syracuse looks like it's a PWI.
What's PWI?
Predominantly white
white
institution.
The classes where I am like one of 2 black people, like I'll sit in class, I'll come to class. If that other black person is late, I'm like, you just made us both look bad, even though I don't know you, you know?
Yeah.
That's just, I think, American culture in general is a kind of group, and white is the norm, and that's what everything else is based on. They set the frequencies. Like it's important for us to look good as a unit, even though we don't have any relation
Do you
to
feel
this.
the need to like stick together?
Ooh, yeah.
I think naturally happens.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
understand each other, like something happens to each
Yeah.
other.
You can just look at each other.
You can look at someone you don't know across the room and be like, you know, yes.
That happens a lot.
Mhm.
Only time I ever really experienced that, this wasn't from like a black, it was like, because I'm African, like I'm from Nigeria. I moved into America in 2008.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I had an African American studies class, I think spring, freshman year. So we were on the slavery topic. So like people would look at me like I was there or something. Like, no, seriously. And also like this has been since high school, and people always look at me like I'm supposed to know, you know, what happened during slavery. Like I was there when they filmed Roots or something. But anyway, during that class, whenever we talked about something that happened in Africa or like, you know, slavery, people would like, did that happen, Natasha? What? What do you mean? I don't know. That's the only time that I've ever really felt like I never really noticed it actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes every once in a while I'd be like, oh, I am the only black girl here.
I feel like I'm not affected that much, but I do notice that I change to the way I act, kind of.
Yeah.
Like you have to know like, oh, the joke happened, but your head like no one's gonna get that reference, or no one's gonna understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that'd be really well, damn. Like, so you kind of just take it. Like I try to explain to my friend. He's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I think I definitely changed the way I act. I feel like sometimes, like I don't know if it's just me, but in class I'm like less. I don't want to like talk to certain people. Like I'm less like talkative. Like I'm talking to like, oh, black girl, like I'm not gonna understand what she's saying, or like they're gonna be like, oh, what's up, homie, or something. I'm just like, I'm just gonna be here, be normal, blend in, leave class, because I don't want to go through that.
I've heard like you're like my favorite black person.
Yes.
Like, is that supposed to be flattering?
I can never figure it out.
It's like good intentions, but like how we were talking about before, I don't want to be like the face of black people
Yeah.
because it's like we're all individuals, and it's like they come to me like with every time they have a question about black people in general, they come to me, and it's like, you know, we're not different, you know, we're just people in general, but they don't understand that. And so like I don't like being like the entire face of an entire culture because I'm the only one in the class.
It's just a testament to how conditioned we've been and how, like, even with amongst ourselves, we can't appreciate the shades and the textures that exist amongst ourselves. Like, there has to be some infiltration in order for some type of beauty to be apparent.
I've gotten that too. Like I remember being really young and like just getting like a lot of. It seems like you put putting on a pedestal because of like your hair and how it's like something rather than like African. It seems exotic, and that's uncomfortable because you don't want that. You know, it's like not the same thing. It's just a really awkward situation. Like if I had $1 every time I asked if I was Indian. I mean, and maybe I am. You know, I don't know. But like, but yeah, it's just the whole thing attached to it and how it starts at like such a young age. Like I have distinct memories of me being like 7, 8, and people like ask me all these questions and me being like, I don't know, not getting like the social implications of it all.
Well, that was a good session, guys.
Yeah.
And because we have a medium like the Renegade, we can talk about these topics freely.